Yo, listen up, because what I am about to tell you happened in real time, and the internet was not ready for any of it. We had a sold out concert. We had an after party. We had an entire family showing up unannounced. And then right at the end of the night, something happened outside that nobody saw coming. And when you find out what it was, you are going to understand why one man who just got out of a hospital bed could not put his phone down, and why another man who was unemployed, dropped from his NFL team, and dealing with 4 separate legal cases, still had the audacity to pull up like he owned the place. Stay with me, because this one goes from 0 to 100 before the first commercial break. Alright, so before we get into what went down in DC last night, we need to set the table properly. Because if you do not know the backstory, this story is not going to hit the way it should. Cardi B and Stefon Diggs. These two went public, had a whole baby together, baby Brim, born November last year. And for a while, it genuinely looked like Cardi had found her person. Like, this was different from the Offset era. This felt like something real. But then, cracks started showing around Super Bowl time. Diggs allegedly invited one of his baby mothers to the game. Cardi did not post a paragraph about it. She did not go on live. She just gave the man the coldest side eye you have ever seen, said good luck with absolutely zero emotion in her voice, and walked off. Bro, that walk off said everything without saying a single word. The internet took that as the confirmation that they were done. But here is what you need to understand about Cardi B. She is not predictable. She never has been. And what happened last night in Washington, D.C. is the proof. Now, before we get into the main event, there is something else you need to know about Stefon Diggs right now, because this man is not exactly in his prime moment on paper. He got dropped from the New England Patriots. His brother Trayvon got dropped from the Cowboys. Mama Diggs is a football mom with no games on the schedule. The whole family is essentially unemployed right now. And on top of that, Diggs is sitting on 4 separate active legal cases. We are talking allegations from an ex-girlfriend, a personal chef, a former associate, and an influencer who claims some very wild things went down involving candy and a car ride. No cap, we will get into that in a minute. But the point is, this man showed up to that concert anyway, confident, visible, unbothered, and that tells you everything you need to know about where his head is at. So Cardi is in the middle of her Little Miss Drama tour. Last night, she had a stop in Washington, D.C. Packed venue, big show. Keisha Cole was even in the building. But Keisha Cole was not who anybody was talking about by the end of the night, because Stefon Diggs showed up, and not by himself. Bro pulled up with his entire family. His mom, his brother Trayvon, his trainer. They had a full suite packed out, and they were locked in for the whole show. His trainer even posted to his Instagram story mid-performance, giving Cardi her flowers, letting the world know she was putting on a show. Now here's the detail that really gets me. Hours before the concert even started, Diggs posted to his spam Instagram account, Big Fish, with a caption that was giving pure top dog energy. Like he was quietly letting anyone paying attention know that he was going to be in that building and he was not hiding. That is calculated. That is a man who wanted Cardi to know he was on his way. And here is what makes this even more interesting. Cardi made a comment on stage during the show about how the last time she performed a particular song, she ended up pregnant. Then she said, and I quote, "She might get put on her back tonight." Bro, with Diggs sitting up in that suite watching her perform, the whole crowd lost it. And you already know Diggs clocked every single word. Now, word started spreading fast, and creators started weighing in almost immediately. One creator, Messy Tea Time, came through with the hot take, and honestly, she deserves credit for calling it early. She said the moment she saw Diggs' grandmother at the concert, she knew they were still together. Her words, "There is no way the grandmother shows up if they are not still a thing." And she noted that Diggs could not stop smiling all night. His mom looked like she was personally in the relationship herself. She was so excited. Another creator took a slightly more cautious angle, said she was not sure if this was a full reconciliation or one of those grace period moments you get right before a baby turns 1, where you look at the child and suddenly the baby's other parent starts looking a lot more attractive. But even that creator admitted that Cardi has been very clear about one thing: she is never going back to Offset. So if Cardi is spinning a block, it is only ever going to be the Diggs block. And then there is the Offset reaction. Fresh out of hospital after getting shot outside a Florida casino, owes money to half the industry, has a gambling problem multiple people have spoken about publicly, and yet the second the DC footage started spreading, he posted a car crash image to his page. No caption, just the image, right on cue. Now some people will say that was a random post, means nothing, but the timing? Come on, that is a man who is obsessed. And the combination of obsession plus financial desperation plus nothing left to lose is not just messy, it is genuinely concerning. Multiple people covering this story have flagged that the Offset situation needs to be taken seriously and not just treated as drama content. Alright, stay with me because here is where it gets crazy. After the show, there was an after party, and Diggs and his crew were there too. Him and his brother moving through the crowd, Cardi moving through the same crowd with cups in her hand. And at this point, if you were there, you could already feel where the night was heading. Cameras were set up outside as people started leaving, and this is the moment. This is what the entire internet woke up talking about this morning. Cardi B left that after party with Stefon Diggs, and not in the same general direction, not at the same time by coincidence. She walked past her own car. Her security was holding her door open waiting for her to get in, and instead of getting in her own vehicle and going back to the hotel, she ditched her whole crew, got into Diggs' car, passenger seat, and they pulled off together into the DC night and reportedly headed to Maryland. Bro, the comment sections everywhere went absolutely nuclear. People were shocked. People were confused. Some people were genuinely upset, like this personally affected their lives. And I am still sitting here trying to figure out why anyone is surprised. He brought his mom. His trainer was posting Instagram stories mid-show. Did you think she was going to wave goodbye from the stage and go home alone after all of that? Now wait for it, because here's where the story gets a whole other layer. Remember those 4 legal cases I mentioned at the top? Because this is where they become relevant to the Cardi situation specifically. Diggs is currently dealing with an ex-girlfriend named Mulan Hernandez, who appeared on Basketball Wives Orlando. She is accusing him of knocking her unconscious, giving her a concussion, and making her sign an NDA. She is suing for $250,000, and Diggs countersued for extortion. His personal chef filed charges against him for allegedly choking her during a dispute over unpaid wages. He is facing felony strangulation charges. A former associate is suing him for defamation and assault after Diggs accused him of stealing a Ferrari and allegedly had him attacked. That associate claims Diggs' brother and crew jumped him, robbed him of designer items including a one-of-one piece, and he has watched Diggs wear his stolen belongings at Paris Fashion Week for 2 years. And then there is an influencer named Chris Blake Griffith who claims Diggs drugged him, made unwanted advances, and when refused, had his brother and associates follow him to his apartment on a secured floor and attack him. 4 cases, all active, all serious. And here's the bet that one creator put forward that honestly makes a lot of sense. The theory is that the real reason Diggs came to DC with his whole family and put on this whole display is because he needs Cardi's legal team back. After they broke up, her attorneys dropped him on the day of his arraignment, and Cardi's legal team does not lose. They reportedly have an 8-0 record in her courtroom battles. That is exactly the kind of firepower Diggs needs right now. So when he was whispering in her ear at the after party, what exactly was he whispering about? And then the second bet, if Diggs did go back to Cardi's hotel that night, he probably went in trying to secure a second baby, because 2 children means more long-term financial insurance than 1, especially now that he is a free agent with no team, no guaranteed paycheck, and a family that is entirely depending on him to figure it out. Tying himself closer to one of the highest earning women in entertainment right now is not just romantic, it is strategic. Here is my honest take. Cardi B walked past her own car. Her security had the door open, and she still chose to get into Stefon Diggs' vehicle. That is not nothing. That is a decision, and it tells you everything about where her head is at regardless of what she posts online. Whether they are officially back together or whether this is two people who never fully let go, just finding their way back to each other in private, sources on the ground that night are saying these two are very much still in each other's orbit, and the internet is going to find out the full truth one way or another. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Diggs showed up in DC for love or strategy? And do you think Cardi knows what she is getting herself back into? Subscribe, because when this story develops, and it absolutely will, you want to be here for it.